I am going to review something that I have made fun of since day one. When Google first came out with the Chrome OS, they gave a lot of us the Chromebook, the CR48, which was a big, clunky book. It wasn't really ever intended to be sold and never was. The idea being give journalists a chance to look at the idea of a Chrome OS. What is Chrome OS? Well, it's an operating system based on Google Chrome, and really, that's all it is. It's the Chrome browser, any plugins you can run on the Chrome browser, and nowadays that's quite a few apps, but it's still somewhat limited because it can't run. It's not like Windows or Macintosh. You can't just run arbitrary applications. They all have to be Chrome plugins. This is the top Chromebook until recently when the Pixel came out. The Samsung Chromebook, $250, which is a very good price. This one you're seeing here has 3G networking built in, so it's another $80. But what do you get for $250 or $320, $330? Well, you get an 11-inch screen. It's only 1366 by 768. It's matte, VGA webcam, not very high quality. It's fairly light. The whole device weighs just under 3 pounds. 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gig built-in drive. There are a couple of ports on the back, a USB 2 port and a USB 3 port, which is kind of funny because the Pixel doesn't have USB 3. It also has an HDMI port, which means you could hook it up to a big screen TV if you wanted to watch movies via the Chromebook. And you get a few other things along with this, including 100 gigabytes of Google Drive cloud storage for 2 years, 12 free sessions of GoGo in-flight internet. So if you're on an airplane that has GoGo, you can use this. And because this one is not just Wi-Fi, it also has 3G, it's going to be pretty much always connected. It uses the Verizon 3G network. You get 100 megabytes a month of Verizon. That's not very much, but you can pay for more. Price range, we just looked, is about the same as on the iPad, up to $30. I'm sorry, up to $50 a month for 3 gigs. It's, 100 megabytes isn't going to get you very far, so you probably, if you want to use this on 3G, will be paying extra per month. What do you really get? You get a netbook. This is a netbook, an ARM-based netbook. It's based on a dual-core processor from Samsung called the Exynos. You'll find that in kind of low-end cell phones these days. But that's enough processing power for doing what you want to do with this. In fact, you can even play games. Look, I was playing Plants vs. Zombies. Let's get back to the game. And one of the things you'll notice is the sound is quite loud. That's the speakers on the bottom, left and right. And they really are quite good. So let me just get some sun. We're going to shoot some zombies. The game isn't full screen, but maybe if I paid for it, it would be. This is the free version of Plants vs. Zombies available in the web store. And there is quite a big web store available. Let's close this out, and I'll give you a little bit of a tour of the web store. Notice, by the way, the new Chrome OS kind of pretends to be a real operating system by putting icons in a taskbar down here. But every time I use this, I always want to minimize the browser, get it out of the way, see what's out here. And while, yes, there is a desktop picture, there's nothing else. Really, it is a browser-based operating system. And that's the thing to think about when you take a look at Chromebooks. That could be good or bad. In the recent Ponium competition, where they put all the OSs up in front of hackers and paid them big bucks to crack it, this was the only operating system that wasn't cracked. So what you have here is a very secure device for surfing the net. Let's visit the web store briefly, and you'll see there's a ton of content and applications you can run on here. A lot of the things you might think you could only do on a desktop computer, you can do on Chrome. Things like editing audio and video. But remember, you don't have a lot of storage, only 16 gigs. You can supplement that with an SD card here, but most of what you're doing is going to be stored up in the cloud, and most of the processing power is going to come from the cloud, not come from this ARM-based processor. One thing I'm very pleased to see is you can run Netflix on this, and that's pretty cool. That means with these nice big speakers or the HDMI port, you can actually watch movies, watch video on this and enjoy it. I'll give you the pros and cons. The pro, of course, is price. This is an amazing price. $250 without 3G, add 3G. It's now $330. Let's go full screen on Battlestar Galactica. And what I will do is I'll turn down the volume so you can hear me a little bit. But that's pretty cool that I can do this, right? And on a Wi-Fi network, this very fast, very snappy. So price is definitely a pro. Security is also a pro. You know, this is affordable enough that you might just buy it to use as your banking computer. Use your regular Windows or Mac machine for everything else, but do the stuff that you want to keep absolutely private, absolutely secure here on the Chromebook. As long as you trust Google, your stuff is absolutely safe. The cons, though, are it's fairly cheap hardware. What would you expect for $250? It's a netbook. This isn't a great screen. It's a matte screen. Its color isn't very bright. It feels a little washed out compared with a lot of higher-end, more expensive computers. It's a little bit dissatisfying. Sound quality is good, though. The speakers are loud and sound pretty decent. The keyboard is very usable. The biggest con is it's Chrome OS. It's a browser, not an operating system. But I don't think that's necessarily a negative for a student, for somebody who doesn't do a lot of heavy-duty computing. If what you do is email, and the only email, by the way, is Gmail, if you're online most of the time, because remember, there really isn't much you can do if you're not online. You need to be connected. There are some, you know, your Google Drive docs download to the hard drive. You can kind of work with them and upload them later. You can do offline Gmail, but most of the stuff you need to do is online. But you know, so there are some limitations to Chrome OS. It isn't a full computer operating system, but most of the time, most of what people do is email, surfing, maybe watch some movies, play a few games, and you can do all of that on the Chrome OS quite handily for a very affordable price. So I think I might surprise people when I say I give this a buy. Now, I give it a buy with the understanding of the limitations it has. It's kind of cheesy hardware. It's really almost, in fact, Google positions this way, a disposable computer, a computer you won't cry huge tears if you lose or the dog sits on it, because it's tied to Google. Everything that you do on here is already backed up on the cloud. You don't have to worry about backup. And if you do lose this, you just get another one, log onto your Google account, and it's just the same. It updates automatically. It's totally secure. If you can live with the fact that it's basically just a browser, it's not a full computer, I think it's a good deal for the price. For $250 for Wi-Fi, I wouldn't recommend 3G because of the monthly fees, unless you absolutely need to have connectivity out in the field. Remember, now Google does sell a high-end version of this, which I'm going to review as soon as it arrives, the Chrome Pixel. It's a better hardware, but exactly the same operating system. The problem I have with the Pixel is it's so darn expensive. You could really get a pretty nice, a very nice computer, a MacBook Air or an Ultrabook for the same price. But this is, you know, almost a better netbook. If you're in the market for an inexpensive computer that just does a few things securely and effectively, the Samsung Chromebook is actually not a bad computer.
And you keep holding that up. It looks like it's metal, but that's actually all plastic,
It's all
right?
plastic. It's you know, if you've ever held a netbook, it's a netbook. You've seen them before. You know, it's a netbook with a different operating system on it. It looks pretty good. I tell you, my biggest qualm about that, frankly, is the screen. It's kind of a washed out, not a great screen. But see, I'm spoiled. I use a MacBook Pro with Retina display or that high quality Acer S7 display. So I don't know if I'm the market for this. I'm using high-end, expensive computers with really fancy displays. It may be the market for this as a school kid. Schools are buying these for $20 a month per student. With the connectivity, that's not bad. Somebody who doesn't do a whole lot, and I think this is an interesting use for it, as a secure computer that you do your home banking on and the stuff that you don't want to leak out anywhere else. A $250 laptop, what more do you expect? It's exactly what you'd expect. That's the Samsung Chromebook. Yes, I give it a buy. Surprise, surprise, surprise.